Welcome to this short but sweet, happy liver vinyasa yoga flow. I invite you to, before we get started, make sure that you're warm. If you want to, maybe put on some socks. I find that the warmer your body is all around, the better your circulation is, and that helps enhance the benefits of this practice. Once you're ready, we're going to start in child's pose. Bringing your knees wide if that feels good, or right under you. Sink your hips back toward your feet and slowly sink your chest and your forehead toward the mat. Taking a nice deep breath in and releasing out through the mouth. Finding a moment here, just grounding. Feeling the weight of your face on the mat if that's how far it's reaching. Or just imagining your face yearning toward the ground, feeling the contact between your shins and the earth, putting some pressure into the palms of your hands, pressing down, feeling a nice stretch along the outsides of your arms and under your armpits. Take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the nose, and visualize your stomach sinking further toward the floor. Letting your belly expand with every breath in through the nose, and with every breath out through the nose, feeling the belly push all the air out. A couple more breaths like this. Using this time to slow down and slow down your natural breath. Taking note of if this is already making you feel a little different, a little calmer, a little more settled. One more deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Slowly walking yourself up, pressing your hands into the earth, really putting weight in your hands, gently lifting so that you're sitting on your knees. And doing a little bit of Ida and Pingala breath to help center ourselves, calm ourselves, and send energy everywhere throughout our body, unblocking any energy pathways that are blocked right now. So I invite you to take your left hand, gently with your ring or pinky finger, close your right nostril, breathing in deeply through the left nostril, holding at the top, then plugging your left nostril gently with your thumb, releasing the right nostril, and breathing out through your right nostril. Holding the breath out at the bottom, closing the right nostril, opening the left nostril, breathing in. Closing the left nostril, opening the right nostril, breathing out. Continuing this on your own pace a few more times. Noticing that one nostril may have a bit more resistance because typically our body switches back and forth between a dominant nostril throughout the day, so you may find that you're having trouble, and that's okay. This exercise helps to open up both passageways and to calm the nerves. One more round. And on the next breath out, release the nostril completely. Take a deep breath in, arms up and overhead, feeling like you're physically pulling through the air, and breathing out, pressing the air down. Clasping your hands behind you, straightening the arms if you can, just feeling a very gentle stretch through the shoulders. If it feels good, lifting the heart up toward the sky, lifting the chin a little bit. And then propping your toes underneath you, sitting back, putting the weight onto your heels once more, and gently lifting yourself up. Finding a nice toe stretch, unlocking everything from the bottom. This is a place in our body where we're very tight often, unless you have a reason to be working out your feet a lot. This might be really uncomfortable, in which case you can always put your weight on your fingers or bring them and your hands to prayer pose in front of you. We'll take 5 breaths here together, in through the nose and out through the nose. Focusing on your breath, especially if it feels uncomfortable. And of course, if anything ever is too painful or there's a sharp pain of any kind, ease off. But notice as you relax into it, if you feel anything opening up, any channels of energy unlocking from your toes, any heat or sensations. One more breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Putting your weight forward into your hands, coming onto your hands and knees. Finding a neutral position with your wrists directly underneath your shoulders, knees hip width apart directly under your hips, spine straight and long, engaging the abdominal muscles gently and subtly here. Taking a deep breath in, let the belly button dip toward the floor, expand the chest forward and up, lifting the chin slightly, breathing in, feeling the shoulders open, feeling the spine starting to wake up a little bit. And on the breath out, pulling the belly button up toward the spine, lifting it toward the sky, letting the head hang, coming into cat pose. Breath in, coming into cow. Breath out, back to cat. Moving in this way with your breath for a few more rounds, letting the juices in your spine start to flow and lubricate every single vertebrae. And being sure to engage your abdominal muscles throughout to protect your lower back. One more breath in, cow. One more breath out, coming into cat. Then returning to neutral, and on the breath in, extending the right leg directly behind you. Finding one long line from the tip of your toes all the way through to the crown of your head. Take a deep breath in, and on the breath out, pull the knee in toward your nose, and find your way to a low lunge, bringing the right foot in front of you. Finding squareness in your hips, so you might physically pull that right hip back a little bit. You might push your left knee a little closer if that makes it easier. And then allowing yourself to sink a little deeper so you feel a nice stretch in your left hip. You can stay here, or if it feels good, bring your hands up to your knee, lengthening the spine. Taking a deep breath in, letting the heart expand, finding balance and a stretch in your hip. Taking a breath in, place the left hand on the floor on the inside of your right foot, or if you can't really reach that far, just place the left hand on the outside of your right thigh. Easy twist toward the right. Extend the right arm up. Don't use any physical force to twist your spine here. Imagine that your heart is lifting up and to the right and toward the sky. Be sure to have your right knee pressing inwards in opposition as well. Taking a breath here. On your next breath in, opening the right arm. Letting in light. Breathing out, pressing that arm up. One more time. Breathing in, opening the arm. Breathing out, bringing the arm back, placing the hand down, pushing your hips back toward your back foot and feeling a nice stretch in your hamstring, your right hamstring, half split. Again, you're focusing on making sure that your hips are square. So pulling that right hip back a tiny bit, trying not to lock the knee, and gently folding forward. With every breath in, expanding your heart forward a little bit, and with the breath out, letting yourself sink a tiny bit deeper. One more breath. And then slowly return to your hands and knees, coming into a neutral position. Deep breath in, extend the left leg back. Finding squareness in your hips, engaging the abdominal muscles, shoulders are square. And on your breath out, pulling the knee toward the nose. Foot making its way in front of you, coming into a low lunge on the left side. Again, squaring the hips, firing that left hip back, and then releasing into a slightly deeper stretch. Coming up with your hands on the knee if that feels good. Taking a couple breaths here. Always focusing on where you can find more length in your body. On the next breath out, lowering the right hand down, twisting up and to the left. Again, if you can't really make this twist, it's perfectly fine to just have your right hand to the outside of your left leg and gently gaze to the left. If you're in an easy twist with the next breath in, pulling the arm open and back, and breathing out, bringing it forward. One more time. Pulling the arm back and breathing out, wrapping the arm forward, pressing the hips back toward the right foot, finding a nice half split on your left side. Breath in, spine lengthens, crown of the head pulls forward, and breath out. Everything relaxes, stretching a little bit further forward. Propping yourself up on your fingertips, if that feels good. You might even be balancing if the stretch is a little too intense. One more breath here. And on the breath out, returning the leg to hands and knees. Extending your right foot out to the side, balancing on your left leg, on your knee, on your shin. Right hand to the right thigh. Breathing the left arm up and overhead, stretching to the right, feeling a nice deep stretch in your left side and also a stretch in your right inner thigh. Maybe bending that left elbow a little bit so that you can visualize opening your chest up and toward the sky. Always remembering to not cave in when you're bending to the side. And with the next breath in, breathing everything out to the center, taking a moment on both shins, clasping the arms behind you, finding a nice shoulder stretch like we did in the beginning of class, and maybe this time giving yourself a baby back bend. Visualizing your scapula lifting the heart up to the sky, not crunching back, but lifting always. Breath in, return to center. Extend the left leg out. Deep breath in, right arm up and overhead, feeling a nice deep stretch in your right side and left inner thigh. Taking a few breaths here. And on your next breath out, coming back up, returning to your hands and knees. Tucking the toes underneath you. Just take a moment here to come into bear. All you're doing is keeping your whole body exactly how it is, but lifting your knees an inch or two off the floor. Really engaging your abdominal muscles. Feeling a little fire, a little heat. Keeping that spine long in one piece. And lowering down. Pressing into downward facing dog now, tucking the toes once again. Really emphasizing coming into the posture with your knees bent at first, finding length in that spine. And then only straightening your knees as much as you can and still maintain a flat spine. So it's always more important to find length in the spine and length in the legs second. Walking the feet, finding a nice stretch in the calves, really finding your way in this posture. And then when you feel comfortable, taking a moment to rest here. Maybe your knees are still bent, feeling like your hips are pulling up with a string attached to the ceiling, letting the head hang. Feeling your hands flat and firm on the floor, feet back flat and firm. Taking a few deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. And then putting a nice bend in your feet, in your knees rather. Slowly walk your feet up to meet your hands in a forward bend with your knees bent. If it feels good, you can clasp your arms and rock side to side for a little bit. Really focusing on how your breath feels, noticing it slowing down as you hang upside down. Straightening your legs as much as is comfortable on your back. And then slowly rolling up, feeling as though you're articulating one vertebrae at a time. Pressing the hips forward. Pushing the chest open, lifting the arms up and overhead with a deep breath in. Bringing the hands to prayer position, closing your eyes gently for just a moment. Deep breath in. Arms up and overhead. Deep breath out, pressing the arms back down, clasping them behind you. Straightening your arms, making sure your spine is long. And then letting your shoulders pull open. This might be enough. Or if it feels good, lifting the chest, finding a baby back bend. And the next breath in, lifting back up, arms up and overhead. This time as you press your arms down, twist to the right. Just using your inner strength, your inner abdominal muscle strength to pull yourself to the right. Breathing in, arms come back up, returning center. And breathing out, twisting to the left, arms down. One more time. Arms up as you breathe in. And pressing the arms down as you twist to the right. Trying to make sure your hips remain square here. Deep breath in. Hips remain neutral the entire time, twisting to the left, arms down. One more deep breath in. Arms up and overhead. Step your feet a little wider. And come into a wide leg squat. You can keep your hands at your chest or place them on your inner thighs. Maybe giving yourself a nice little shoulder stretch here. Pressing the right shoulder forward. Breathing in, coming to center, and breathing out, pressing that left shoulder forward. Deep breath in, arms come up, walking your feet back end, hip width distance apart. Breathing in, arms come up, swan diving forward, flat back, knees not locked. Forward fold, breathing in. Lift halfway up, spine long. Maybe your hands come to your thighs. Breathing out, fold back forward, knees bent, and step back either into hands and knees or into a plank. Just holding here for a moment. If you're on your hands and knees, press into bear pose, if that feels okay. Or just hold this plank, just keeping a little fire inside of us. Deep breath in, deep breath out. If you're not there already, lower down to hands and knees. Taking cat-cow once more, breathing in, finding your way into cow. And breathing out, pressing that stomach up toward your spine, coming into cat. This time moving a little more freely with your breath than you did at the beginning of class. As you come into cat, rocking your hips a little bit toward your feet, and as you come into cow, pushing a little bit forward into your hands so that you're rolling like a wave. Really focusing in on your breath now, noticing how it feels to breathe with your movement, noticing how it facilitates the movement a little bit better when you breathe in with certain motions and you breathe out with others. As a rule of thumb, it's always good to remember to breathe in as you expand your heart and open your arms. And to breathe out as you contract your stomach, pull the knee in, anything of that nature. Returning to neutral and slowly lowering to your seat. Extending the legs wide in a straddle. Wide might be a very narrow V, it does not matter. Just finding a comfortable wide leg straddle for you. Making sure that your hips are nice and square and you're resting on your sit bones, so you might wiggle back and forth a little. Deep breath in, hands in front of you, and as you breathe out, walk forward, spine long. One more deep breath in, pulling the heart forward, expanding it open, and on the breath out, letting everything hang. If you feel any pain in your lower back, ease off, ease back a little bit. Taking a few nice, cleansing deep breaths here. Flexing the feet, keeping them active. Noticing on every breath out how you melt a little bit further down, relaxing any tension. Using your breath as a tool here to find more flexibility, not just on your mat, but maybe in life as well. And on the next breath in, lift the left arm up and to the side, and breathing out, stretch towards your right leg. It's okay if you just have your hand resting on your leg and you're not even reaching all that far. All that matters here is opening the heart, feeling a little bit of compression in the right hip, and a side stretch in your left side, as well as a nice hamstring stretch for your right leg. One more deep breath in here, and on the breath out, lifting up to center, coming into a side stretch on the other side, breathing in. Right arm comes up and overhead, and breathing out, lowering to the left side. One more deep breath in, coming back up to center. Taking the right leg now, bending it in. Left leg crosses over your right. Your left foot is going to be flat on the floor on the right side of your right thigh. And put a little focus into lowering that left hip so that your hips are square on the ground. You should feel a nice stretch on the outside of your left hip here. Take a deep breath in. Arms come up and overhead. And on the breath out, either clasp your left knee with your right arm or bring your hands into prayer position, hooking that right arm on the outside of your left knee, gently twisting yourself. With the breath in, find length in the spine, crown of the head pulls up to the sky. And with every breath out, release a little tension in your hips. You might find that you twist a little deeper when you do so, but don't press the spine too hard. Staying here for a few more breaths. Letting your connective tissue release with every breath out. One more breath in, and on the breath out, unwind. One more deep breath in with your arms up and overhead, and breathing out, press the air away. Uncrossing the legs and coming into the same posture on the left side. Right foot crosses over to the left of your left thigh. You'll feel a nice deep stretch on the outside of your right hip here. Deep breath in. Arms up and overhead. And breathing out, your left arm either clasps your right knee or bring your hands into prayer position, hooking the left elbow to the outside of the right knee, twisting to the right. Taking 5 breaths here, remembering to stay long to release tension, and to focus on your breath. On the next breath out, breathing the arms up and overhead, and then breathing out, pressing them back. Unwinding the legs, feet flat on the floor in front of you, knees bent, spine long. Breathing in, extend the arms forward, and breathing out, slowly recline back, using your abdominal muscles to slowly lower you one vertebrae at a time. Feet stay flat on the floor. Arms wide, lifting the legs up into a tabletop position, shins and thighs 90-degree angles. Cross the right leg over the left like you're sitting on a stool at a bar. Shift those hips a little bit to the right. Slowly lower everything to the left and gaze to the right. Really focusing on keeping that right shoulder down. Your knees might not go all the way to the ground. It's more important here to keep the shoulders square and down. And if you like, if it feels better, you can also do this without crossing your legs. You can simply keep your knees together, parallel. Taking a few breaths. Letting everything go with every breath out. The next breath in, bringing everything back up to center, uncrossing, and coming into the same posture on the left. If you cross the legs, left comes over right. Otherwise, everybody just shift your hips to the left, slowly lowering everything to the right, and gaze to the left. Left shoulder yearning toward the floor. Beginning to come back to that sense of groundedness that you found at the beginning of class in child's pose. With a deep breath in, bring everything back up to center, and either clasping from the outside, right underneath your knees, pulling on your thighs, or grabbing the soles of your feet and pressing your knees down. Bring your knees toward your armpits, toward the floor, finding happy baby. Focusing on maintaining a flat spine, shoulders down. You can rock back and forth if that feels good, giving your spine one last little massage. Taking in a few more deep sips of air through your nose. Letting them out long through your nose. When you're ready, releasing the legs, hugging the knees into the chest. Head comes up to meet the knees, pulling everything tight. And breathing out, release everything into Shavasana. Letting everything flop open. Placing a bolster or a pillow under your knees if that feels good to support your lower back. And taking 10 deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose here. Simply focusing on letting your entire body release, letting every muscle relax with each breath out. On your next breath out, begin to come into awareness of your body connected to the floor. Maybe bring a little life into your toes, your fingers, and gently shrugging your shoulders, rocking the body back and forth. Then come onto your right side, rolling gently to the right. One breath here, and on the breath out, pressing up, finding your way into a seated position, eyes still closed. Hands to heart center. Taking 3 more deep breaths in through the nose here, really expanding the belly. Letting the breath come into the chest. Slowly releasing out. One more breath in. And on the breath out, release anything else that you're holding. Any pain, any tension. Bringing your hands to your third eye, still in prayer position. Bow forward, locking in your practice. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope this practice was helpful for you. Nice and easy if you're not feeling well, but hopefully very effective. Namaste.